Welcome back to the podcast this week. So lovely to have you with me. And this week I'm going to be talking about something that I think is a powerful method or powerful methods to ensure that you win and keep winning and stay ahead of the game. And that I'm going to talk about 3 daily rituals. In fact, I'm going to give you 3.5. I'm going to do a little bonus one at the end, so 4. But 3 to 4 daily rituals that will keep you winning and being successful in sales on a regular basis. I wanted to share this with you because 2 things really. A, it's because what I've seen with very successful people achieve results over a period of time, and I've monitored and looked and see how they do what they do, and this is something that's really common with that. But also because I want to share with you a bit of a personal story of where I've had when I in the past I've had some struggles, not so much struggles, but where I felt like I've lost a bit of my spark or my mojo. It's because I've lost certain elements of routine in my life. And I've also got another close friend who has gone through a difficult time recently, and when he's at his most worst points is when he hasn't got routine. So I'm going to share a bit more about that story as I go through the podcast itself, but I wanted just to talk about the rituals that keep you successful. And the reason this is also so pivotally important is because one of the things I see happen a lot in sales is bouncing. People bounce, or they go up and down. So they have weeks or weeks where they're doing really well, and then they have weeks when they're not doing really well. And they have periods of time where they do really well, and they have periods of time where they're not doing really well. And I think I also see it a lot, especially when in people are trying to prospect and find new business. And I've also experienced this, where you do it for a period of time and then stop doing it. And yet, one of the things that we have got to realize and understand is that it's not the odd thing we do sporadically. It's consistency over time that wins, that is critical. And if we put those elements in place regularly, we will get the results we want. And small habits that you do compound onto a daily basis to make things better with you. And I'm going to give you an example of that as I talk through a couple of personal examples of that are really good examples to use over the course of the podcast. But I want you to remember that, and this happens a lot, for example, in January. People start January, have a New Year's resolution and a goal, and they do it for 3 or 4 days and then stop doing it. And it's because it's not the great saying is motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. And it's having that discipline to be consistent on a regular basis that's important. But here are the 3 rituals that I use myself, and I encourage you to use on a daily basis to give you some better chance of being successful, especially in the modern world, which is incredibly busy that we live in. And the first one is a bit of a morning mindset ritual. So what do I mean by a mindset ritual? It's a start with with 2 things really. Start with a bit of intention, visualization, and meditation. So one of the things that a lot of people do when they get up in the morning is the first thing they'll do is they'll go to reach out for their phone, and then they'll reach out for their email, and suddenly they're into a position where the day is controlling them. And one of the things that Tim Ferriss and Tony Robbins have shown is that if you prioritize your morning routine and make your morning routine, by the way, this is also something Robin Sharma talked about in the 5 a.m. club. If you prioritize and own your morning routine, then you have a much better ability to get what you want done. And the way in which certainly Tony Robbins and Tim Ferriss talk about it is having an intention of what you want to get done in the day, and then start with a visualization process of how you want that day to pan out. And again, I personally listen to a meditation. So if I I have a meditation tool that I use, and when I listen to Let's Meditate, and when I listen to Let's Meditate, it talks about the best day ever. And I listen to the best day ever. And again, I'll play it for you here so you can sort of hear it. It's a little bit, it's a little bit. You hear the lady in a minute. She talked about.
Welcome. Today's session will.
So it's a little bit woo-woo, and people think, "Oh my God, I'm going to start hugging trees and whatever else in a moment." But no, the point being is, what it does is it gives me 10 minutes in the morning for my meditation, where I can start to visualize the day ahead and what I'm going to do. And it enables me to try and focus my mindset on what I'm going to make happen that day. And I'm a big believer in visualization. What we believe will happen. And the inspirational stories that I talk about at the end of the podcast are all driven on people that have wanted something and have believed it and have made it happen. And, Nelson Mandela put that great quote together, it always seems impossible until it's done. And I think a lot of the time it's about having those habits. So one of the habits that I try and put in place is a morning ritual of a little bit of meditation and also a little bit of thinking time where I can visualize what I'm going to try and do. And then what I've started to do over recent times is to have, people have a to-do list for the day. I actually focused on trying to get one thing done that I can get done that day. Because when I was trying to have 2 or 3 things, I was sometimes not getting around to them. So, 1 to 2 things that, you can do is great. But if you can have one thing that you can get done that day and make it happen, then the feeling that you get from that is great. And some people are morning people, some people are evening people. But I think if you can have a morning mindset routine that tells you what are you going to get done that day, how the day is going to pan out, and give yourself that bit of time to focus on what you can achieve, then I think it's going to put you in great position. Now, I'm aware that people will say, I've got kids and I can't do it. And of course, I totally understand there are lots of distractions in our life, but we all have the option to do things. And if that means, again, Robin Sharma in the 5 a.m. Club talks, if you can get up at 5 a.m. and have that first hour to focus on, you and meditation. Another thing that, is that they recommend, and I certainly have recommended as well, is journaling. So journaling down some thoughts, and your thoughts are then what you're grateful for. But that visualization process to set up what you want to achieve in the day and how the day is going to pan out, I think is going to be a big help for you. And again, people might think, you're getting a bit woo-wee on, airy-fairy on us here, James. No, but it's in sales. We're all about what we have to make happen to get success. And, I'll use the phrase, and you'll have heard me talk about eat or be eaten a lot. Well, do you let the day eat you, or do you take control? Do you eat? And if you take control of the day and you visualize what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, you're going to be in a far better position. So firstly, the morning routine, and again, Robin Sharma talks about and a few other people I've met from a business perspective have said up until 11 o'clock, the morning is theirs. That's when they get their best work done. There's a guy called Matt Gray on X who talks a lot about his, Justin Moore is another one that talks about their mornings. They get things done in those times when they're at their best, at their peak, and then they can then do other things from that point onwards. So really, I guess, create a bit of a ritual, create a bit of a routine for your morning. One of the things that I've done now for years is every time I wake up in the morning, I have a black powder, which is I take every morning. Which is it helps. It's called a face mask for the gut, and I've taken that for 2 or 3 years now. I take that alongside some vitamins, and then have some time to meditate and to think about what I want to do and how I want to visualize the day. And then I go into a position where I can, when I'm at home, I will go to the gym and have some physical exercise. So, but have a morning ritual and routine that you can own and that you can take control. And when you get those, I'm not saying you have to do it all day, every time, but routines do help us immensely. And so the second ritual that I think which will keep you winning is going back to that idea of daily movement and physical health. And I think in sales, someone once told me the body is the business. Being physical every day and being, physically active is so important. And some people say, I don't have access to a gym, and that's fine, but go for a walk. Chris Williamson talks a lot about how the first 30 minutes of the day and access to the sunlight, initially, Gary Brecker talks about the first morning sunlight is the best UV rays you can get. But being physically active makes a difference around your mental clarity, around your energy. Now, at the moment, and it's really interesting, so I've been on a holiday, and I've just come back and I've been busy in other meetings, and I haven't been to the gym for a couple of days. And yesterday I didn't even get out and have a walk. And I didn't feel as great as I should have done. And yet when tomorrow I'm going to be back home and I'm going to be in the gym. When I come back from the gym and I'm back home by sort of 7 o'clock, 7:15, I feel incredible as a result of it. And so, whether it's if you get a small walk, do something. Now, for me, even though I've not been able to go to do some of the stuff I did yesterday, on September the 1st last year, I, with my team at Growth Resource we created a little challenge, which was to basically do some press-ups every day. And I'm pleased to say that 211 days in a row since September the 4th. I haven't missed a day. And we moved the number up. We started at 70, I think it was, and then it got moved up to 80 and to 90 and 100. But now we're up to 210 press-ups a day. We do 110 squats and 110 sit-ups. And I'm pleased to say that I've not missed a day. And even at the days when I didn't do anything, I did still do my sit-up. I did my press-ups. And I know it's helped me. It's physically active. It's now an addiction. There's not a day. There's some days when I've felt not like doing it, but I know I've wanted to be, accountable and I've done it. And that physical activity has made it, just something that's. I know it's, even though there are times I think I don't want to do it, I know it's good for me. So, whether it's, stretching, whether it's yoga, whether it's walking, whether it's a physical activity like that, whether it's going to the gym, playing tennis, playing paddle, playing golf, whatever it is, try and get a regular activity and exercise in place. Even if it's 45 minutes, it will make a massive difference to you and your well-being and to your fitness and well-being. And I'm sure most people are doing this sort of stuff, but if you're not, just try it. And there are some really simple tools, again, that you can have. There's on my phone, I have a little app that enables you to measure things and try and build a chain. And I have an app called Reach It. And on my phone, Reach It enables you to measure things on a day-to-day basis that you do, and enables you to have some simple tasks. You can say, right, I've done it for the day. And building that consistency and those habits just makes such a massive difference, because once you started doing it, again, go back to the press-ups that I'm doing. When we started doing it, the first 10, 20, 30 days were hard. Now I'm on day 211, and, the world would pretty much have to end for me not to do that. I do them in blocks of 25. I don't do them all in one go. I do 25 at a time and 8 lots of 25. But I came home on Saturday evening, late from an event, at 8 o'clock. I had to do them. I stayed up till 10:30 just to get them done, because I knew it was an addiction to have. So I think having that daily movement and activity is really important. And then the final ritual that I'm going to recommend to you is just, and this is again something that, one of the things that I've had for a number of years is something called a Whoop device. So people sometimes ask me, what do I wear on my wrist? And I wear a Whoop. Whoop is really important because it measures my sleep and the quality of my sleep and how my body's performed in the day. But one of the things that's really important for me around sleep is also, and this is where I sometimes struggle. I do work hard. I love my work. I love what I do, and I sometimes work quite late. But one of the things I've tried to put in place at the moment is an evening ritual to review and sort of try and let my brain calm down. And what I found is when I'm able to review the day of what went well, what did I do? Did I do the target goal that I set out in the morning? Did I have the day that I said I would? What were the wins that I got from the day? What did I do successfully? What was the challenges that I had? And then what do I want to accomplish tomorrow? When I've done that, and then actually had some time to read a book, I felt like I've slept better. And the studies are clear that sleep is so, so important to health and well-being that it makes a massive difference. So have that evening ritual. Give yourself that 20 minutes, 10 minutes at the end of the day just to switch off, get the phone off, get the laptop off, and just take some time to, if you can, journal, to write some stuff down. What did you achieve? What happened? What was the positive things? What were you grateful for? And the final thing, and I should have mentioned this at the start of the day, and this is a ritual that I do, and I do it in the morning when I first wake up and the evening when I go to bed. And again, I learned this from a podcast from someone, I can't remember who it was. But every morning I wake up, I say thank you. I'm not sure who I'm saying thank you to, because I'm not a particularly religious person, but I say thank you to for whoever it is for giving me another chance today. And at the end of the day, I say thank you again for giving me that day. And I, at the morning, say thank you for giving me the chance. I'm still alive and breathing, and I'm still going at the end of the day. And I think life is a precious thing. And sometimes some people, sadly today, will have woken up this morning and not made it to the end of the day. So those are rituals that I do at the end of an evening, and it puts me in a better position to then make sure I get the most from tomorrow as well. So look, those are my 3 rituals that I recommend for you to be successful and to achieve what you want to. Of course, they're difficult to put in place. There's always things that get in the way. And that sort of leads me on to my final point around this, which around focus and distraction. And I'll tell you this is one of the hardest things possible for me, because I am a flitter. I will flit from things. I've even wondered whether sometimes I'm on the spectrum slightly with that, because sometimes my concentration spans are not as they should be. But when I really focus on doing something like my press ups, or when I'm writing something or doing something, when I set myself a little target to do it, I can focus deeply in an area. And we have to have time blocks. In our team in South Africa, in Growth Resourcing, we have time blocks that we put in place. And I encourage people to put time blocks in your diary where you can, to be able to focus on activities and block out time for things that are really critical, things that you want to do. Own your day, control it, eat the day, don't be eaten by it. And I encourage you to really be able to just put, whether you use a technique like the Pomodoro technique, which is for 45 minutes or for 30 minutes, just put some time blocks in the diary and remove other distractions. If you're in an office, maybe put a hat on that says, I'm not to be disturbed. Maybe if you're at home, then, put a sign up on the door that says, unless the world's end, unless there's a major crisis, leave me alone. Because you need that time to just focus on good quality work. Cal Newport in his book, Deep Work, talked about that as humans, we can't do our best work when we're flitting from thing to thing. So look, these little rituals are things that I've used to help me. I'm still on a learning path. I'm not in any way, shape or form doing the saying I do this all day, all the time. I don't. I try and do it as many days as I can. I certainly try and get into my routines. But as I said at the start, when I'm not feeling at my best, and I've just come back from holiday where routines are slightly changed, I don't feel as great when I haven't got my routines there. And I know a friend of mine who's struggled with some life changes recently. When he hasn't got his routine, it's his worst time. So routines can help you. They can help you achieve what you want to. They're good rituals to put in place. Put them in place, and I think you're going to find you're going to be more successful. You're going to be able to achieve more. You can get tasks done. You can make things happen and achieve the results that we all want you to have. So, look, one of the things I'm going to, as I always do, I'm going to finish the podcast on is an inspirational story. And I think this story is a really amazing one. It's a lady called Jessica Cox. And Jessica was born without arms. And if you think about it, we use our arms day to day. I've been using my hands in gestures to speak to, to on the podcast and to express points. And she was born without arms, and she had to learn to use her feet for every task that she wanted to do, including driving, playing the piano. But not just that, she became the world's first armless licensed pilot. So she became the first pilot of an aeroplane of anyone without arms, or by using her feet. And she advocates for people with disability. She speaks at events now. She's an incredible lady. Her website is jessicacox.com. So I just think someone again like that, who's inspiration, but the first female person, not just female, the world's first armless licensed pilot, I think is an incredible achievement for someone that was born with this disability, but is then proving that nothing's impossible. So if you're thinking today, I can't do something, or I'm not sure how I'm going to make things happen, use Jessica's story as an example for you. So that's it from me. Hope you've enjoyed the podcast. Hope these rituals are helpful. By the way, let me know what rituals you work for you. What are the things that you do on a day-to-day basis that make a difference in your world? But I'd love to hear what they are. Let us know. But thank you so much again for listening. I appreciate it so much. I hope that the insights I share are useful for you and valuable for you. And it's great to be with you on the journey in your life and in your business and what you're doing. So always reach out to me. Always reach out to talk to me. If you are enjoying the podcast, drop me a message. It's always great to hear what people think. But until next week, have a brilliant week. Stay safe, and I'll see you then. Take care.